How's it going, everybody? This is Alex Caceres, and you're listening to Story of the Fight.
Thank you, Alex Caceres, for the intro yet again. Welcome, everybody, to Story of the Fight. My name is Ramiro. That's my boy, Will. This is where we cover all things mixed martial arts, man. Today, we're going to be covering UFC Vegas 87. Not only will we be covering UFC Vegas 87, but I guess you could say a watch party, right? A fight companion, whatever, for the main event.
Walking out right now.
They're walking out right now. We'll cover some of the fights from earlier in the event, but also we'll be covering 166.
Yeah, 166.
1166.
But yeah, so we're gonna do a live watch along for Rozenstruik, and then we're gonna cover the UFC card. We're gonna cover one. There's gonna be timestamps down below if you're not watching this live. It's gonna be fun. We got Rozenstruik walking out right now.
By the way, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. This is your first time joining us. We try to hop on. We try to make it every Sunday, right, Will? But sometimes life happens. Today we're having to do this Saturday, but it's cool because it's like a little mix. You know, we're doing a little watch along and a recap. Why not?
Keep you on your toes.
Yeah, exactly. But also some fighter interviews that we get in there as well. YouTube shorts. YouTube definitely the way to go about it, though, because we post pictures so you can follow along as we do it. Hey, by the way, shout out to the boy Jesse Strader. Look at this shirt.
Yeah, sick.
How clean is this shirt?
Shout out Jesse Strader. We just had Nick Griswold on. He's fighting tonight at 209 Beatdown. Show him some love.
For sure.
Shout out Blunderbub for coming in live. Don't worry, guys. We'll watch Game Bread tonight, so you don't have to. Shout out Austin. 166 is a hot mess. I've watched them religiously for like 6 or 7 years now, and I've never seen them have a card like that. I forgive them, though, because every other card has always been bangers. Yeah, we're going to talk about it.
You know what? We were kind of talking about how, for the most part, it's bangers, yes. And just recently, it feels like the UFC is just putting on these cards that just drag. And, I mean, tonight we have Gaziev versus Rozenstruik. No disrespect, right? But, hey, maybe not a main event. You know what I mean?
Well, what's funny is this is the card that they tried to have in Saudi Arabia, and the Saudis were like, no.
We're good.
And they're like, I guess we'll just take it back to the Apex.
Keep it in
which
Apex.
is why. And they're like,
said.
Dana's like, they didn't do that. They didn't do that. We're doing one with them later. And it's like, well, then why is John Anik here at the Apex? And why is it starting at 10:30 in the morning? Because they kept the time slot, and John was already booked because they thought they'd be out there.
Hilarious. That's hilarious.
Shout out Genevieve. Agreed. The whole night was so weird. Yeah, it was an off night. But also, they're going to Qatar. It's like there's a lot of travel. There's a lot. It's hard to do something like that.
For sure. But
we got.
What do you think of the fights earlier so far? So far, okay on this one.
There's been some decent fights. We're gonna skip some. We're gonna skip the co-main event when we switch to the recap. But there's some fun fights to talk about. You know, some people shut up. Again,
shut up. Absolutely. They need yellow cards here, though. Is what I'm gonna say, though. UFC needs yellow cards.
Yeah, Blunderbub says first 5 fights were still solid. I maintain. If you're talking about one, I definitely agree. Those were very fun. Pocket Monk, shout out Pocket Monk.
Absolutely.
And actually, some of the first fights of this card were pretty good too. But yeah, they're doing the tail of the tape right now. We're gonna have the clock up on my camera right here, so you guys can time it and watch it with us.
Gaziev, first fighter to represent Bahrain. I think we were just talking about this. I am looking forward to Formula One in Bahrain tomorrow. Dude, I'm so stoked that you have no idea.
No, I do.
I never thought I'd be super into Formula One, and your boy's been just chomping at the bit to see Formula One.
That's crazy.
I know, man.
Let's see. Also, Rich is not here, so the show might be a little clunky because I'm doing everything right now. Let's see.
Okay.
We're gonna
Sal Diamato on this one.
Sal Diamato, dude.
Hey, I feel like Mark Goddard's been getting a lot more hood tattoos recently.
Bro, dude, Mark Goddard's shredded right now, huh?
He's shredded. He's got those tats all over his arms, dude. You don't want to mess with Mark Goddard.
No, dude, no. Austin says Mokaev, that last fight earlier. I don't give a fuck. Perfect example of why one has better rules. Yes, but we are actually going to talk about something that I do not like about the one rule set. The one thing that I could cherry pick about their rule set that I'm not a fan of. We will talk about later.
What?
I know.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
This must have really gotten to you while you were watching the fights. Not
so much. Not so much, but it's like, if we're going to do this, we should probably do this, huh? But we'll cover it. We'll talk about it. Right now,
it's a good teaser.
Right now, we got to pay the respect to
Jairzinho Rozenstruik.
Gaziev.
Absolutely. All right.
This has potential to be a very quick knockout or a very slow heavyweight gas fest.
Yeah, please let it be fast.
Vulnerable says, if it's about the throws, you're wrong, but I still appreciate you, bro. Ooh, a hint towards later, maybe.
Let's see here. Okay, so
Gaziev is
just taking a look at Gaziev real quick. Martin Buday, Greg Velasco were his last couple fights. Greg Velasco in the Contender Series. So this is his second fight in the UFC.
How tall is he? Like 6'6" or something? Jesus Christ.
Let me see here. He is 6'4".
Oh, allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. MMA 6'4".
UFC 6'4".
Yeah, UFC.
All right, we got round one.
Here we go. My favorite Rozenstruik fight is still the against Ngannou.
Oh, damn, dude. You gonna do him like that?
Well, dude, I don't dislike him, but I just like how they both just decided to bite down on their mouthpiece and just have at it. Why not?
Why not?
Was he on the wrong side of the receiving end there? Yeah, dude.
The Dawkins one. Ooh, clipped him with the right hand.
Right, as he was coming in. Very good. He's deceivingly fast, though. Rozenstruik?
Yeah. It's just like, it's the output, you know. He just needs to. Austin says, I predict Gaziev by lane prey and eventual finish because Rozenstruik can't defend. We have seen him struggle on the ground. But I don't know if Gaziev is necessarily someone as talented as who did he just fight? The guy who's fighting Curtis Blades next. I can't think of his name. Jailton Almeida, sorry.
Oh, Jailton Almeida.
There's an entry from Gaziev, but he didn't really commit to it.
Yeah, you know, Rozenstruik has always seemed a little shorter for the division, huh?
For heavyweight, yeah.
Do you think he'd be good at light heavy?
No.
No?
I don't think so. I think he's as high as he is because he's in heavyweight.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
No disrespect.
He's hit a ceiling at heavyweight, and the ceiling's higher at heavyweight because of the level of talent he's facing.
Yeah, and also, you know, you can just end a fight that you maybe should have technically lost, which is to one punch at heavyweight, you know?
Yep.
That power doesn't
Not really setting up that
translate.
Entry for Gaziev, huh? There we go.
No.
Let's continue working off that jab, Gaziev.
The right straight is nice from Rozenstruik. When he throws the overhand, it's a little bit too much, but the straight is nice, and it's landing.
Yellow card now. Dude, they don't want me in there with yellow cards, bro. I'm telling you. They don't want me in there.
That was a nice right hand there from Gaziev. And a good jab from Rozenstruik.
Yeah, Gaziev wearing it already.
Yeah, the straight punches have been good from Rozenstruik here. But that's what happens when you just walk forward the whole time. Those straight punches, you're going to walk right into them.
There we go. Gaziev's trying to move his head a little bit. There we go.
I don't know if you knew this, Ramiro, but if you move into a punch, it actually does more damage.
No way.
Science.
Law of inertia.
Is it?
I think so. I think it's object stays in motion until an external object stops it or some crap
that's
like that.
Newton's. No.
I don't know, dude. Something like that. Now I'm going to have to look it up. We should look it up.
Austin says we need Oprah to start handing out yellow cards at these events. You get a card. Or just get Olivier in there, dude. Olivier's out there like Oprah.
Hey, I'm digging
throwing him out there.
I'm digging it.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Getting that wrist control.
Yeah, Rozenstruik's got the overhook there. That's the move. If you want to get that overhook on the backside and then wrist control on the other, so that they can't get down to your legs. Because if Gaziev tries to drop right now, yeah, he's got the underhook, but that he's pinching him with that overhook. Rozenstruik is.
Okay.
Gaziev just straight up full on stopped paying attention to the fight to look at Mark.
Yeah, to look at I saw that too. Oh, big knee by Rozenstruik.
Nice trip there from Gaziev.
Yeah.
But only a minute left. Not the worst place to be if you're Rozenstruik. But also defend yourself.
Yeah, and this is going to be
and just flat on his back here from Rozenstruik. He's not trying to get to a hip or anything.
No, and then even that half guard that Rozenstruik seems to have in there doesn't seem like it's very solid right now. So it looks like Gaziev could possibly get into a full... Oh, no. It's locked in a little bit better now.
A little bit.
It was really
one thing that I have noticed... Yeah, one thing that I have noticed with Gaziev is he does slow down a ton to the point where like his punches look like they're underwater later in fights. So it could be interesting to see him if this fight carries on. Whereas, Rozenstruik, he can last and still land that knockout shot at the end of fights like he did with Overeem.
Okay, there we go. So this already went longer than I thought it would.
Well, what I said it's either going to be a quick knockout or might be a long one.
By the way, Will, I had to look it up, and it is the law of inertia, my friend.
Oh, look at you. But that's not...
Yeah.
Object in motion stays in motion. That's not... What's that?
That's an object in motion will remain in motion unless a net force acts on it.
But that's not the same.
That's what it's called. It's Newton's first law of motion. It's the law of inertia.
But is that you add... If you move into an impact, it multiplies the... that's a different thing, right? That's a different law.
No, it says it's unless acted off by an unbalanced force. Hey, how about we have to start getting into science to try to make this exciting right now?
That's so good that first round was.
How about that, guys? That's how good.
Oh, man. Nice little trip there.
Any science teachers out there right now?
Yeah, they're like, these guys are idiots.
Yeah.
Gaziev looks tired.
Rozenstruik do be quick, though. And that's what I'm saying. He's like deceivingly fast.
Genevieve says, for every force, there is an equal and opposite reaction.
Thank you, Genevieve. Shout out, Genevieve.
Ooh, nice little left hand there from Rozenstruik.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if this is going to make Rozenstruik a lot more hesitant now to throw any of the knees that he was throwing earlier, because really that's what got him in trouble.
Yeah, he was defending against the fence fine until he threw that knee, because he just reached down, grabbed it, and got the dump. Nice little step-up inside leg kick for Rozenstruik. That could set up the right hand.
Yeah, dude, that's where he needs to stay, really. That right there. Yeah. You know what I mean? You don't need to get all fancy. Gaziev's not doing anything out of the ordinary. Just keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I don't want this match to go 5 rounds, so be more reckless, huh?
You want to see Wonder Boy Rozenstruik?
Wonder Boy.
HLB Comer. Shout out HLB Comer. What kind of cup was that? And Austin says, I'm leaving if there's homework.
That's a Stanley right there.
You break in somewhere to get that?
Yeah. I actually got it for my was it for my birthday or for Christmas? I don't know. It was one of those things.
Somebody else broke in somewhere for it.
Yeah. Doing work. Okay.
Jab's decent there from Gaziev.
Yeah, but he needs to use it more often, huh?
Yeah, the output's pretty low there from Gaziev.
Yeah. Look. Like he's going. Oh,
good head move there by.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that Mayweather in there right now? Jeez. The head movement.
Oh, nice step in knee from Gaziev. That was nice.
You could hear the reaction.
Yeah. HLB
Austin says, I'm leaving if there's homework.
Yeah. How's the weekend going? The weekend's good, dude. Weekend of fights is always good.
HOB Comer, always a nice guy asking, man. Pretty good so far.
It's busy trying to shuffle around, huh?
Yeah. He needs to go to that leg kick a little bit more, too.
Yeah. Gaziev looks exhausted, huh?
He looked exhausted after the first, couple minutes.
Well, he doesn't go very long in fights. Oh, nice jab.
HOB Comer, Austin, Genevieve, Blunderbub. Hope you're all having a good weekend as well.
There he is back on that single leg. Does he get the same trip? No, he switches. Drives him back into the fence, lifts the leg again, and Rozenstruik keeps him up with that overhook.
Shout out Keith joining us now.
Hey, shout out Keith. What's going on, gents? Just watching this Apex event.
Just watching this Apex event. Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Apex in Abu Dhabi, yeah. Hey, Colleen, shout out Colleen joining us. Good head placement there by Gaziev up against the cage on Rozenstruik.
Genevieve, apart from waking up at 4:30 in the morning for one, it's been okay. Yeah. We were going to do a live stream for that, but weren't able to, unfortunately. Oh, nice knee there from Gaziev. Oh, I'm liking nice. Rozenstruik up against the fence here.
Yeah, he needs to get out of there quickly, though.
Yeah. HB Comer says, yeah, the time is better. HB Comer, what time is it for you right now?
Yeah, I'm sure this is a perfect time for him.
You think? I think it might be brutal.
Jenny says that we know Romero's old and sleepy. 100%.
To his credit, that was not why we couldn't do it. HB Comer, see, dude, that's a tough time, man.
That is.
He says, "Why is this guy in a main event? Which one?"
Yeah, all of
you
the
could
above.
argue either way, huh?
All of the above, man. Yeah, and I mean, even taking a look at Rozenstruik, right? Like I went through.
Wait, hold on. HB Comer says the fat one, and again, I'm gonna ask which one.
Which one? Oh man.
No disrespect.
But Rozenstruik. So I went through and I read off some of Gaziev's last fights, right? So Rozenstruik lost to Almeida, RNC round 1. That was a bad one. He beat Chris Dawkins, but let's be real. So did a lot of other folks. Yep. No disrespect. That's going to be the theme of the episode.
With all due respect.
With all due respect. He lost to Alexander Volkov before that. He lost to Curtis Blades before that. He did beat Augusto Sakai. That was he all roided out, I think?
Bro, HOB Comer's on fire, dude. The bald one. And again, which one? Next is the one with the beard.
The guy with the beard. Well,
Genevieve says, that's some disrespect. Well, you can't just say with all due respect and then just say whatever you want after.
Sure as hell means
that's exactly what that means.
But yeah, I mean, look, dude, Rozenstruik's been doing this for a while already,
Yeah.
He was on fire when he went up against Francis Ngannou. He was undefeated going up against Francis Ngannou. And then that was really derailed. Yeah, he was 10-0 when he was facing Francis Ngannou.
We got round 3 here.
Now, apparently he had lost in kickboxing before, but in MMA he was undefeated.
He had some belts in kickboxing, I'm pretty sure, too, huh? Don't have to defend takedowns in kickboxing.
Was that the one that he lost at Super Combat World Grand Prix in 2013, Will?
Who knows? Who knows? As much as I'd like to say I was following that event, no, I was not.
Okay, I mean, his biggest win, he beat Alistair.
Yeah, the one that he was losing the entire fight until he dropped him once, so they stopped it.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't have.
Is that the one where he split his lip like all crazy?
It is.
Like,
gnarly? Oh, the leg kick is good from Rozenstruik here in this 3rd round. The outside leg kick.
By the way, I really regret not saying hi to Alistair Overeem at the airport when I saw him.
Should have, dude.
I know. I should have. I'm just always under the impression like, oh, they're probably like get bugged all the time, and people are, asking for autographs and pictures all the time. But then I was sitting there, I was like, I don't think I've seen one person go up to him. I don't know if anybody knows who this guy is right now.
Yeah. He could have been like, this is actually pretty sick. This dude knows who I am. The jab is money from Rozenstruik. And same with the outside leg kick. It's a head movement from Rozenstruik, huh?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Pretty good. He came back over with the right, countered, very nice. And there's that jab again. Oh, dude.
Mouthpiece is
out there looking like
he can't breathe, dude.
He looks like Raul Rosas right now. Look at his face.
How dare you?
Look at him.
Keep jabbing him in that nose, dude. That's money. And leaning forward so that you can get jabbed easier is not the best defense.
Yeah, not the best strategy.
Keith says, Ramiro, you missed the one stream. It was a good one to miss. Seriously, the highlight of the first red card DQ for non-action by Herb. So that was just one of those nights.
Yeah,
we are going to cover those fights, Keith. Ramiro did get to watch.
I did watch those for sure. I just unfortunately couldn't watch all of them live. I watched as many as I could live up until I had to work.
And same. And then I went to work and I continued to watch. Allegedly. May or may not have done that. I like the jab to the body from Rozenstruik. Usually you try to do that to draw like a left hook counter so that you can then counter that left hook, but Gaziev is just too tired to even throw that counter. So he's just scoring free points on the jab to the body. Man, the jab, he's just beating him up.
I will say this, though. Both these guys, more action than Bhullar the other night, huh?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
HLB Comer says, is this the worst main event ever? I don't know. That had to have gone Ngannou and Derek Lewis.
Yeah, it's got to be.
That would have definitely had Herb Dean pulling out multiple red cards throughout the night.
That was a main, right?
Pretty sure that was a main.
Yeah. Jesus looks like Gaziev is asking for the jabs. He 100% is. Austin says Rose versus Carla 2 still exists. Not even the same stratosphere as that was bad.
That was pretty bad too.
I think it's between those two, Rose and Carla, and then Francis versus
Gaziev is walking straight forward, but with his hands even lower than they were when he started off the fight, man.
His answer, he's exhausted. His answer to the jab is to try to retreat back.
Like, maybe he'll like hit the mitt right now,
Yeah. Well, he's trying to lean back away from the jab, but that's not working. What he should be trying to do is slip to the outside of the jab so that he can counter. Instead, he's still just getting hit by the jab, trying to retreat, but he's not fast enough. And he's walking him down and just getting jabbed in the face, dude. He's got really no answer right now. This is crazy.
Yeah, this is rough.
Jairzinho super like Rozenstruik, huh?
HOB Comer says the ref should call a stop and bring in the slab table. Might as well.
Man. A good right hand there from Gaziev, but it's really just because Rozenstruik's starting to get a little reckless here. If he can just stay composed and keep landing this jab.
Well, I think Rozenstruik's also starting to see right now, like, hey, this guy, I don't know if he really can hurt me right now.
Austin says, so is Rozenstruik winning on damage now? There's legit no consistency in the UFC, so I don't know. I think he's winning on pretty much every single criteria right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just very little output from Gaziev overall.
Yeah, dude's exhausted. Like I said, dude, there's in his last fight, like later on, but he got the finish from what I remember. But he's throwing these punches that literally look like he's underwater. And it's like, that's with no adversity coming back at him. So it's like, yeah, unless he gets that early knockout, I don't think he really has the tank to do this. And
again, this might be the reason, to your point, Will, that Rozenstruik's like, yeah, I'm good at the heavyweight division. Like, I'm good.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't need to go down to light heavyweight. Look at that. Oh, Genevieve
shut up, Bisping,
so excited
right now. Did you hear that? Bisping said that jab is the story of the fight.
Oh, thank you, dude.
He's actually talking about our show.
Yeah.
All right,
Good.
we got round 4.
All right. This is the 4th round right now?
This is the 4th round right now. There's some head movement, some side-to-side head movement from Gaziev. That's better than... Oh, but he gets cracked as he comes in.
For the first 30 seconds, it'll be that way. And then after that, he's like, oh, that's right. I'm exhausted.
Yeah. And maybe not even 30 seconds. Maybe it was 20.
Cover championship round.
Oh, my God, dude.
You know how there's legendary fighters? There's Midnight HLB Comer, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's hilarious. Oh, look at that.
Oh, my God, dude.
46 head strikes, huh?
Doubled him up to the head, tripled him on the body. 16-2 on leg strikes. I mean, just...
Oh, okay.
Oh, big left hand there from Rozenstruik.
Little burst?
Because he's trying to take
clinched.
him down. He got that single leg again.
Does he have the hands locked?
No.
Oh. And he's exhausted.
All right. The commentary all night tonight have been talking about defending single legs by putting your leg back down. Like, it's like, that's what you have to do. And it's like, yeah, no shit, dude. Why would you even say that? They have your leg up in the air. What you want to do to defend it is put it back on the ground. Yeah, dude. I think everybody knows that. They're acting like, oh,
awesome.
Did you see that? He didn't get the takedown because Rozenstruik got his leg back down. Because the takedown was over.
You also have to think about, though, that they've been watching the same event we have.
True, dude.
You know what I mean?
True.
They're trying to make lemonade right now from all these lemons that are tossed their way.
But it's not just the bottom half, It's not just your legs that you have to worry about. It's your upper body, too.
Again.
It's just because his beard sticks out a lot in the front. That's all it is.
Is that what it is?
It's got to be.
It's got to be.
Dude, Gaziev looks like he's physically in pain and exhausted.
Hey, by the way, are the A's...
Yeah, awesome. It's legit the equivalent of saying when he punches you, you want to avoid it. Yeah, that's exactly the same thing.
For sure. Are the A's moving after all? It's
still up in the air.
Really?
They still don't have any renderings for the Vegas stadium. They don't have any plan. Oh, big right hand from Rozenstruik. Another right hand.
There we go. Rozenstruik's starting to pick it up now.
Another right hand.
He's feeling himself.
He's like, I'm pretty sure this guy's dead by now.
Put on the pressure.
Oh, big left hook right hand. But then you forget, Rozenstruik also has terrible cardio, and he might also blow his wad here.
I don't know, man. Compared to Gaziev, this guy looks like Colby Covington right now. Look at him.
Yeah.
Just nonstop.
Yeah, I mean, it's something, huh?
Yeah.
Gaziev looking a bit labored. Yeah.
For sure.
A bit labored, for sure.
And that jab continues working, man. Look at.
Yeah.
And maybe Rozenstruik's just saving it for the 5th round, He's going to.
I think he's content with this, dude. He tried to put him away there. I'll give him that credit. He did.
He picked it up.
But I think that might have done him in.
Yeah. He definitely thought, hey, there's another round left. I'm not going to be able to put him out right now. Let me slow the pace down. Don't let Gaziev just stand there, though.
Yeah. It should become, or Jesus, I thought this was the 5th. No.
It feels like it. But yeah, there's been a few times where Gaziev just stands there, like flat-footed, no movement. And if you're Rozenstruik, like I know he's exhausted, but don't give him any chance. Throw a jab, do something, do anything while he's just standing there. Look, there he goes again. Look, there he goes again. There we go.
Rozenstruik's like, dude, come on, bro. You're a joke.
And this guy was 12-0, huh?
Hey, shout out to Mark Goddard for just being on that so that that didn't turn into a break. Because a lot of times guys will kind of like loosen their mouthpiece so that when they get hit, it drops and they get a breather from the break. But Mark Goddard was right on that.
Keith
No
says
free
body
breaks.
shots. Let's go.
Yeah, seriously. Let's get some body shots going. He's thrown the jab to the body a lot, but nothing. I'd like to see Rozenstruik with the
nice
shot to right hand. Holy smokes, like he's Michael
there we
Chandler
go.
in there.
Hey, that was a nice little level change, man. And then he said, I'm sorry for that late knee.
Yeah, but also not too sorry. What a fight.
All right. This is probably my favorite part of the fight so far because this is an indicator that there's just one round left. Yeah. So, hey, we're not going to cover the Tyson-Pedro fight.
We're not going to cover the Tyson-Pedro fight.
I did want to mention that he retired at the end of the fight. He says that, he has other dreams that have come about, so he's going to pursue other dreams. He lost to, God, what was that guy's name again?
Which one?
The guy that
Today?
he lost to?
Petrino?
Yeah. Petrino, the Brazilian. So, see you later, Tyson-Pedro, man. It's been fun.
It has been watching your fights.
Yes, Petrino now 11-0, undefeated.
Yeah.
So props to him.
Wait, hold on. What's DC saying? He's arguing with his corner? Are they trying to call it?
Oh, no time.
What are they doing? What's more Goddard? Goddard called time. They're bringing the doctor in? Oh, he wants to translate. What did he say to the corner?
Oh, wow.
What did he say?
He's stopping it so that he can understand the translation?
I think he said he wants out to his corner, but they're not letting him maybe. Saying he can't see? Good on Goddard, huh?
Yeah.
He's calling it.
Thank you, Goddard.
Dude, Goddard is money, dude. Goddard is money.
He is. Don't forget, 3 years ago when we did our first ever award show, your boy here handed Mark Goddard the referee of the year.
Yeah. He's good.
He's solid, dude. He's solid.
Always been good. Goddard heard him say something to his corner in another language and was like, what was that? Wow. Great.
Wow. Yeah, that's really good.
Great ref. That is fantastic.
Do you think
good reffing this week, huh?
Oh, this entire weekend has been so phenomenal with reffing, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, today started off a little dicey with Tognoni.
Hey.
But it's not an
dicey.
event. It's not an event if Tognoni doesn't have something going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm done with Tognoni, man. Honestly, I don't think he needs to I don't think he needs that job.
He's the sweetest ref there is.
Yeah, until you're the one getting knocked out.
Oh, that jab was really good.
Not Bisping again. Calling out the story of the fight. Appreciate it. Thanks for the shout out.
Can we need to just for saying that?
We need to start clipping. We need to start clipping anytime they say story of the fight on like broadcasts and stuff, and then just use that as a promo.
As an intro.
Yeah, dude.
Just all the time.
Yeah. From Bisping, from DC, from Rogan.
That's hilarious.
HB Comer says, so how do you see Francis versus AJ going? I don't think I could ever guess because what he's done so far, I mean, realistically, AJ should beat him. I think AJ probably outpoints him and wins him, either finishes them in the 10th or the 11th, or wins by decision. But it's like you just cannot count Francis out.
But you know what's crazy is I want to watch it really bad.
It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome.
You know what I mean?
Bro, he dropped Tyson Fury. Also, I just noticed we might get copyright claimed because the reflection of the fight is playing behind you.
Oh no!
I did not realize that. Yeah. We're probably fine.
No,
we're probably fine.
Hey.
It wasn't a pay-per-view. What are you gonna do? You know.
That's so funny.
I normally have it on the other monitor when we do this, but
yeah. Well,
what are you gonna do?
Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. In the words of Max Holloway.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, this fight, I guess we can cut it here, right? Do we want to watch his interview? I don't really care, to be honest.
No, I don't.
All right.
I'm taking that off. Let me hang this up so that we don't get copyrighted for anything else. There we go.
Just cut it. All right.
All
let's
right.
move into our actual episode.
Yeah. So, hey, thank you everybody for joining us. And, I hope everybody kind of likes the idea that maybe we do that more often, even if we tune in during the co-main event or the main event, and we can watch along together and then go straight into the recap. You guys let us know what y'all think. But we're going to be covering UFC Vegas 87. We just went through and saw Jairzinho Rozenstruik go against Shamil Gaziev. Weird stoppage there. I think we mentioned earlier as well that we're not going to mention or talk about, talk about Tyson Pedro versus Vitor Petrino. But it's the first fight we're going to cover, Alex Perez versus Muhammad Mokaev.
Yeah, I mean, real quick, let's just because let's just move on. Austin says, I love watch parties. Definitely do more. Shout out Austin.
For sure.
Austin. I love doing them. The watch parties and stuff. They are fun.
Especially when everybody's hopping on like this. I think I've said it before. It's like legit being in a room with a bunch of friends and just chatting it up, cracking jokes. Yeah,
it's great. HB Comer says, I wonder who produces this fine show. Normally it is Rich the Casual, but if you've noticed that it's a little clunky, it's actually because Rich is out right now because it was a last minute shakeup to do it tonight. He couldn't make it, so your boy is filling in, and we're gonna make it happen. But shout out Rich, because the fact that it is very noticeable when he is or isn't here, it's like he's good. He's on. Yeah, he's on the money, right? But respect that. we're gonna go ahead and get started. Alex Perez versus Muhammad Mokaev.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Muhammad Mokaev. Hey, I was expecting straight wrestling right away, as soon as he got started, right? And he decided to stay on his feet a little bit longer. Decided to trade. Dude, he gets clipped early.
Mokaev by Perez a little bit,
right? But Mokaev, I think, had 4 finishes going into this. He's stepping up in competition. And so it made me think, okay, like if we continue seeing those quick finishes, the dominating performances from Mokaev, which I guess you could say was pretty dominant, right? But were you impressed?
I'm impressed because he got the win, right? But it's one of those fights, kind of like Merab versus Jose Aldo, where like nobody really landed any offense in this fight, but because one person was defending the entire fight, they ended up being the loser, right? Because defense doesn't score points. Yeah. But when you shoot 20 plus takedowns and you only get 3 or 4, that's not super impressive to me. Especially because like Merab versus Aldo, at least Merab, when he's shooting all those takedowns, it's with forward pressure, whereas Mokaev is really just dropping down to a level change, but he's not really driving through with it, or it's almost like it's an attempt to start grappling, but it's not a takedown attempt, if that makes sense. Like he's never going to get
to make it look like he's getting hurt. Because I've noticed that sometimes it's during the exchanges too, and the way that he drops is weird.
Well, I think that's just because he was gassed, dude. I mean, anybody who's shot in on a takedown and has been sprawled on, and you get pushed back to where your feet are under your hips, and you're getting pushed down on your hips, and your legs don't work anymore, and you're trying to push out with your legs, and you're gassing your legs out. I just don't think he could drive anymore. Because if he's not trying to look hurt. Maybe you do that once, but you don't do that 18 more times after it doesn't work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I don't know. Perez did such a fantastic job of defending the takedowns and the grappling transitions. Mokaev hit some cool peek outs every once in a while. Those were cool. But that's kind of it, right? Austin says, I just really hate how wrestling defense doesn't get any credit in the UFC. This fight is proof of why grounded knees should be legal. Perez would have completely changed the energy of that fight. Could not agree more. I think defense, I understand the notion that like defense is its own reward because it allows you to stay in the fight. But I think the scale should start tipping at a certain point. If you're shooting 20 takedowns for the whole fight, you're not really landing any offense yourself. If they're all getting defended, you know what I mean? Like,
yep,
it's weird. I don't know.
So what's next for Mokaev?
They're saying a win over this gets him Pantoja. I think Pantoja smokes him. There was a cool suplex.
That was awesome.
That was sick, right?
Yeah.
Would have been DQ'd if it was in 1, huh?
Little teaser.
Yeah, but he got the win, right? he hit some cool things, but ultimately I was more impressed. Here's the thing. Defense doesn't score, but effective grappling does. So there's like a weird kind of like, aren't they the same thing? You know, like if you're defending takedowns, but not just defending the takedown, but then threatening the ninja choke, crushing their hips, trying to circle back out or shrugging them off, like that's effective grappling. No, it's just kind of weird gray area, not gray area, almost like a double standard or like double negative or something. I don't know. It cancels itself out in a weird way. Mokaev is not ready for a title shot at all, in my opinion, because Pantoja is so good on the ground that I think he gets smoked on the feet by Pantoja.
I'll see it though.
I'll watch it.
But I agree. I don't think Mokaev is ready for Pantoja quite yet.
He did say, what did he say? He said, "I was sick this morning." So that's but it's like, were you though?
Maybe.
What a banger, huh?
Yeah.
As you can tell by our energy on this one, huh?
Dude, this one was rough, man. There was a few fights yesterday and today that were pretty rough, but we're here for it either way. Which one are we gonna cover next?
Let's move on. We're gonna switch to Umar Nurmagomedov versus Basharat Almakhan.
Yeah.
Funny story going into this. Almakhan takes this fight as a UFC debut. His record is a mystery. There's a huge trail. If you want to go down that rabbit hole, some places have his record like 11 and something. Another one has it 18 and
11
something.
and 1, wasn't it? Allegedly, depends on who you ask. SureDog, someone that works at SureDog did this whole deep dive on it and was posting on Twitter about it. And there's other organizations that aren't necessarily MMA in other countries that are pretty much MMA that usually get lumped into MMA records because it's essentially MMA, right? A lot of weirdness about it. But that being said, comes in. He went in 15 and 1 or 16 and 1 or something like that. That's crazy.
Depends on who you ask. But he goes in. Umar steps in to switch stances in range. I thought he tried to switch and throw like an inside leg kick. So when I rewatched it, he really just switched stances. He did a big step in to switch stances. I think he thought Almakhan was going to step back to like keep the distance. And instead he just met him with an overhand right that drops him immediately. I think it was like 20 seconds into the fight. And I was like, oh, here we go. He just got dropped by an overhand. But Almakhan goes in on him and immediately gets taken down. Immediately. It was a good DC or I think it was actually Bisping that was talking about it. He's like, yeah, you talk to Umar and it's just, we don't go out at night. We don't party. We don't hang out. We just train. It's just training. We don't think. We just train. Whatever you tell us to do in the gym, we're doing it. Doesn't matter. And that's what happens. If you get clipped, he even said post-fight, I got dropped. Or DC was like, how hurt were you and stuff? And he's like, I don't know. I didn't see it. All I know is I got on a takedown. And he's like, he got touched. He was gone.
Just autopilot.
Takedown. Autopilot. That's what happens. It's ingrained into you that even if you're out cold and you're not even going to remember what you're doing, you're still in on the takedown. And then he still gets the takedown. He's on autopilot.
Nurmagomedov might be the only ones that when they get hurt, their jiu-jitsu and grappling gets better, actually.
Yeah, because he immediately takes the back, right? It was very cool. He goes for the body triangle. From this, it was cool because he was trying to get wrist control on Almakhan's right hand, push it down, let go of the body triangle, and then wrap his right leg over Almakhan's right arm, like BJ Penn used to do, right? When you take the back, you trap your arm. Yeah, couldn't quite get it. Very cool get-ups from Almakhan. Cool get-ups. Nurmagomedov broke his own record, his personal best for takedowns landed, but that's because most guys don't get up when they get taken down by him. So he doesn't have to do a ton of them. But Almakhan did a good job until the same thing. You're just constantly defending takedowns. Eventually you get taken down and then you can't keep getting up. It's so hard to keep getting up.
Were you surprised by the scores?
No, what were they? I think they gave him 2 10-8s, right?
I want to say one of them was 30-25 and 2 30-26s.
Yeah, that works for me. most of these rounds weren't close, right? The only round that was close was the first one, and that's arguable because he got dropped. But that was kind of it for Almakhan. So I'm okay with it. I don't like how they're like, you can see why nobody above him is taking fights from him, and he has to fight guys on their debut still. And it's like, what are you talking about? He was like lined up to fight Sandhagen, and he pulled out. And then I think there's been like 3 cancellations where he was the reason they were canceled, right? It's like Sandhagen. I can't pull up Topology, but
Jack Shore.
Jack Shore, that's another one who was above him.
Nathaniel Wood's another
one. And it's like,
man, he actually has a ton of cancellations.
Yeah, and they're usually on him. It's not like, but then it's the Ali Abdelaziz who was in his corner for some reason. I can't imagine that guy giving good advice for the fight. But his thing is, even if it's my guy pulling out of all these fights, at the end of the day, people forget the reason why the fights didn't happen. And I can just say everybody's ducking him because nobody wants to take the fight. But in reality, Jack Shore, Nathaniel Wood, Corey Sandhagen, they do these training camps where they're spending money on the fight. They get close to the fight, and then the fight doesn't happen. They don't get paid. Why would you want to entertain fighting that guy if he's doing it habitually, right? And it might not all be, you have to look at each case on a case-by-case basis, right? There could be good reasons and stuff like that, but
no, that makes sense. So
at the end of the day, it's not like to try to market it as in the guys above him are ducking him when he's had 3 guys above him take the fight and that he doesn't pull out, or then he ends up pulling out. It's like, I don't really like that, but
yeah.
But he looks good. I mean, he's good.
Yeah, Nurmagomedov gets the win, right? He continues on his ascension. Austin mentioning DC really clamoring over the wrestlers and look, if it's a wrestler and they've trained with DC at AK, it's game over.
It's game over. That's his boy.
That is his boy, man. All of those guys are his brothers. So, you know what? I can't blame him. Like, sure, he's in the job where he shouldn't, but I mean, even us, after we interview any fighter, we're like, man, we lean heavily towards that fighter. You know what I mean? We become very biased. So
it's hard not to. It's hard not to. And if you're in the gym with them day in, day out, that's your boy, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, man. Let's move on. Who we cover next?
Next, we have Steve Erceg versus Matt Danger Schnell.
No, can we just take that nickname away, please? No, actually keep it.
It's good.
He's in danger. Every time he goes in there, he's in
Hey, but he brought the
danger
this one. He's been, look, Matt Schnell, it's going to be crazy to say this because of the Sumadarji fight, but he does get shut off somewhat easily sometimes, right? But he is tough as nails. If you watch that Sumadarji fight, he was almost out like 3 times, comes back and chokes him out cold. They're covered in blood, so he is tough, right? And in this fight, Erceg is obviously someone to watch, right? He's like a hot prospect, and his boxing is, at least his boxing offense is fantastic. He hurts Schnell early. He's mixing in cool uppercuts, all this stuff. But Schnell, dude, when he steps in the pocket, it was like straight punches versus Schnell's just like hooking. He steps in the pocket and he's just bop, 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 bop. And there's a couple times where he cracks Erceg.
It wasn't even just the straight punches, man. Like Erceg was coming in with the 1-2, but instead of coming in with the 1-2 straight, he was coming in with 1 and just like hooking it just a little bit to land right where Matt Schnell was going to be leaning. And he kept on cracking him at the end of that punch over and over again. It was so clean, man. And I mean, that's probably why the side of his face was all bloodied up there.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. But
so
I
he
still
loses
think
to
Matt Schnell in the pocket, man. But then there's the second round, and he hits him with this left hook that is beautiful. Beautiful left hook, and just shuts him off. He goes down.
Right on the money.
It's a walk-off KO.
Bounces off the canvas, yeah.
You don't see walk-off KOs at flyweight too often, huh?
Oh, man. I'm glad Tagnoni stopped it.
Yeah, he kind of, had that decision made for him. But this is the harder picture.
Hey, shout out Ganskow.
Of the fight. Shout out Ganskow. Banger until he was sleeping. But look at this picture. Erceg getting the win, and Matt Schnell just like, what is happening? It's a tough one.
He looks like he's lost right now. Like he doesn't know where he's at.
He probably doesn't. He got knocked out cold,
right now. Let's see.
But
so
I mean, bangers.
Just real quick. Loses to Erceg, loses to Mateus Nicolau. He beats Sumadarji, loses to Brandon Royval, He loses to Alexander Pantoja. He's lost to Hector Sandoval, Rob Font, Tim Elliott.
It's tough.
It's tough, man. And look, we
It's a long
recognize
career
all
too.
those names. We recognize all those names, but he's also 16-8. You know, I wouldn't say it's the best record in the world. And what has surprised me is that he has hung out in the top 10 for quite some time.
I mean, when was his UFC debut? Can you get that up? What was his first UFC fight?
First UFC fight, 2017. Do you count the Ultimate Fighters?
I don't.
No, okay, 2017.
2017. HB Comer says, I respect Schnell's dedication to well, but always fun fight. They are always
something
fun.
I've learned since starting this podcast is when HLB Comer puts something up, I read the entire thing before I read it out loud.
Well, normally Rich is the one that puts the comments on the screen. It's hilarious.
Always fun fights. No, and that is true. He always puts on fun fights. And the Simadarju fight is one of my favorite fights that I've seen in a long time. So.
What a comeback, huh? What a
Absolutely.
comeback. HB Comer says, gotcha.
All right, man.
Classic. But Erceg is one to watch, huh? Can you read me through what he's done in the UFC so far?
Of course I can, man. Give me just a second.
Give me some info.
Pull that up.
I've only got
Mr.
one screen.
Erceg. We got Matt Snell.
Bang,
by beatdown, it says here. Alessandro Costa. David Dvorak.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's a good name, Dvorak.
Yeah, and then before that, it was outside of the UFC.
Okay, well, so far so good, huh? The second fight was supposed to be Schnell, if I'm not mistaken. Schnell had to pull out, and then he took the short notice fight, got the win, and then now he gets the rematch with, they rebook it with Schnell. And then, yeah, that's it, huh? He's been good. HB Comer says, wait until there's a donate button. There should be a donate button. I believe there is one. Somehow. I don't really know how that works, though. It's new to us, huh? Hey, look at us. Look at
it. But, yeah, do you want to move on to the next one?
Yeah, we're going to move on to Vinicius Oliveira versus Bernardo Sopaj.
Whereas DC was saying Sopaj.
Yeah. Holy Mother of God, this fight was fucking awesome, huh? I mean, Sopaj, they start, and look, everybody's saying this is pretty much Oliveira's like time to shine. This is like his he's like, they're talking about he's invincible, blah, blah, blah. First half of the fight, Sopaj's landing the big left hand, the counter, as Oliveira, I think, came in a little disrespectful. Was like, I'm just going to go in there and do whatever I want to do to this guy.
Well, there was all this talk about like drama at the hotel or something like that when they ran into each other and Oliveira was yelling, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to do all these things to you. And I was like, oh, geez.
And then he did.
Yeah, he stayed true to his word. Oh, yeah. No.
But you know, Sopaj is he's tough. He's 23 years old, I think they said. He's in there in the UFC, landing good left hands. He gets some cool takedowns off of Oliveira being a little overzealous and off balance. Grinds him out for a bit on the ground until Oliveira.
Is that a sparrow in the back of his neck?
Yes, that is a sparrow on the back of his neck. After Oliveira ends up getting on top. I don't remember if it was a reversal or if I think he swept him right and then ends up on top and immediately is landing vicious ground and pound. And Sopaj's like not really able to defend very well against it. They end up back on their feet and you could tell he is done. Absolutely done. He might have won the first half of the fight, but he used all the energy to do it. And then from there on, it's just Oliveira picking his shots. The leg kick was nasty. The right hand was nasty. And then the finish, he kicks him in the leg and pushes him so that Sopaj's like, holy shit, my leg's giving out. And he's tripping over his leg as he's like stumbling across to the fence. Probably thinks he's like, I'm out of range.
Yeah, I'm safe.
I don't really have to worry about it too much.
Which he was out of range.
He was. And then Oliveira leapt at him like a spider monkey and hits him with a knee flush. Hey, shout out Keith there with the donation. He found it, huh? Say no to Bhullar's crack. DQ non-action. Shout out Keith. But Oliveira hits him with that flying knee and
Dude, he
shuts
ran
him off.
at him.
He literally ran across the cage, leapt at him.
Because he was outside of range, Sopaj was out of range, and he looks over and he sees him running. He puts his back up against the cage, and his first reaction was to try to stiffen up and put his hands in protection down low.
Yeah.
Oliveira just
knee up
went
high.
flying.
Yeah. And he's out.
Dropped like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah. Face first, arms down by his side. Never good. Didn't try to brace his fall
says
right.
that
out cold.
It was brutal, like a Raquel Pennington interview. Hard to watch.
Brutal like Jessica I trying to hype up fights, trying to get the crowd to woof with her. If you remember that.
Oh, no, I don't remember that, but I'm glad I don't.
Damn, I wish I didn't remember that. Shelby Comer says disgusting. That was hard KO to watch. So probably looked dead. Yeah, he was. When they're breathing real heavy too, you can see their back whew. That was bad.
That's the body's natural life support system. You know what I mean?
Oxygen to this brain.
Yes, immediately. It was scary.
Yeah, but also awesome, right?
Possibly knockout of the year.
That's what we're here for, huh?
KO of the year contender already.
It's tough. Oh, also,
hope he's okay.
Hope he's okay. He'll be fine. He looked promising out there. It's tough to win your debut. Was it his debut? I've never seen him before. I don't think.
You know what? I can actually check.
Yeah, I can't.
Yes, it was his debut, UFC debut, and it shall be remembered the rest of the year.
Yeah, it really will.
It's a memorable one.
UFC's about to make money off that knockout, huh?
Oh, dude, every promo? Come on.
Yeah.
All right. You want to move on to the next one?
Yeah, last one we're going to cover from the UFC. We got Amin Zahabi versus not Sopaj. How did that happen? Rich is not here once again. Just so you guys know, it was Basharat.
But yes, man, this fight was non-stop action, and going into it, no matter what fight it is that the UFC is going to have on, the announcers have to sound hyped up, right? So going into it, they're like, man, can't wait for this one. This one should be an exciting fight. And it delivered. It actually delivered.
Were you not excited for this one?
I was like, I don't know. Probably because I had just been turned off by some of the other fights I had watched the previous day and then a couple of fights earlier in the day. But look, Zahabi has been pretty good.
That's my dog, dude.
Brother of Firas, right?
Brother of Firas, yeah.
Yeah.
This is the two brothers fight here.
Yeah. Family versus family.
No. Well, yeah, I guess Basharat has his brother. Zahabi's got his brother. Shelby Comer says nobody was excited for this one. This was one of the ones that I cherry picked for the fight because Basharat is definitely extremely talented. But he's one of those guys that he's really skilled, but it's not like he's missing something. I don't know if it's the intensity or just the ability to the power maybe, because he's a very good point fighter.
Yeah.
You see him tapping at the low kicks, tapping to the body. The jab is nice. The way he exits combinations, I really, really like. He's fundamentally so good, but it's missing that danger element, Whereas Amin Zahabi's still very skilled as well. And a tough one. It's a tough test for prospects coming up, I think. Basharat was undisputed in here, huh? He says he looks he's like small Bilal. I think he's like Ariel
Helwani. He's like
Ariel Helwani was a hockey player or something. But they were mixing it up well. It was some fun techniques in this fight. This is a cool technique fight, but ultimately not super exciting. But it was interesting just because Basharat lost his undefeated record in this one, huh?
Yeah, and he took it pretty rough, it seemed like.
He was not happy.
Perfect timing. Another great job by Tagnoni in that fight, huh?
Yeah, I guess. Was there any need for him in there?
No, there really wasn't.
But it also is funny because Basharat, his last fight was when he kicked Victor Henry in the balls, and then for a week after was no, I didn't. He quit. And you're like, yeah, you definitely did.
Yeah, you kicked him in the balls.
Victor Henry like went to the hospital for it. He was like throwing up in the back. I remember. But you know, yeah,
right.
but that's it, right?
That was
That's
it.
for
That
the
was
UFC.
it. And we had a couple fights that had been canceled. Joel Alvarez versus Ludovic Klein. Always like watching him. Mohamed
Well, Ludovic
Yahya.
Klein stayed on, and he beat up a guy that made his UFC debut.
That's right.
And while they're
That's
talking about how hard his life was, he's just getting brutalized. And it's like, hey, can we cut this, please? Can we just like talk about the fight instead of how his dad made him fight his brothers and stuff growing up, made him sleep outside, and if he didn't finish his food, he'd dump his food on him. And you're like, I don't really want to hear this while he's also getting his ass kicked, huh?
Yeah,
this is maybe not the right time.
But
Ludovic Klein,
Raul Rosas Jr. versus Ricky Turcios was supposed to be today, and that was supposed to have been last weekend too, right?
It was supposed to be last weekend. Raul Rosas, he got sick day of, so they canceled the fight during the event. Like right before the fight was supposed to start, they canceled it, and they're like, "Don't worry, guys, we are now clear to announce that it's happening next week." And then Turcios was like, "What? I never agreed to that." Once again, the UFC announcing fights before they're actually agreed upon. Like that's like they did it with Dustin Poirier. They did it with Costa versus Whitaker.
I'm sure they asked Rosas.
Like, I'm sure they asked Rosas, and they're like, "Turcios doesn't do it. What is he gonna do? Say no to us, the UFC?"
And he was like, "Nah,
yes.
nah, I'm not gonna fight."
Yeah, he had his chance. Yeah, hilarious. But yeah, I don't know. You want to pull up the bonuses? I'm not sure who got
nothing
bonuses.
Posted yet.
Nothing posted.
No.
All right.
No bonuses posted yet. Let's move on, man. I think we're also going to be covering one championship. They had 166 in Qatar, right?
In Qatar, Anatoly Malykhin
versus
Renier de Ritter 2.
Yeah, this was, dude. Holy smokes!
You texted me something.
I was just about to say, for everybody out there that has been listening to the podcast for a while and that know for the longest time, Will has been saying, you got to watch one. You got to watch one. Finally, I was like, all right, fine. I'll watch one, whatever, right? And I text Will, I might have a new favorite fighter. Anatoly Malykhin is an absolute monster, dude. 3-division champion?
Dude.
Look, I don't care what organization it is, dude. I don't care what organization it is. If you are able to become a 3-division champion, that is legit, dude. Heavyweight champion, light heavyweight champion, now middleweight champion.
Look, I was there for the first fight at light heavyweight for the belt when he beat RDR, and when they announced that they were going to do it at middleweight, which again, if you're not familiar, middleweight is 205 and 1 because they don't cut weight the same as UFC. So it's at 205. But I'm like, dude, there's no way Malykhin can actually get to 205.
And then he looks at heavyweight?
Yeah. And he shows up and he's shredded. Absolutely shredded. And I'm like, holy shit, the man did it. Like the week before, he shows up on the broadcast and they're like, and you see him, he's chiseled. He's like, his jawline's all popping, and you're like, holy shit, this guy's actually losing the weight. He lost like 25 pounds, 30 pounds of muscle. And you're like, how hard is it to do that while still maintaining strength, right? Because you still have to work out. You're still getting. And he comes out here, and he's a fucking
look at his picture, pointing at his abs.
Yeah.
Who's that guy in the middle, though? I'm not digging him.
Where's Chaudhry?
Yeah,
but RDR, Genevieve says 40 pounds in a month. It's insane, dude. But RDR is no joke either. He's no joke. RDR is very good. And look, the fight starts. Malykhin immediately, he's back on that Terminator Warpath Berserker mode, walking you to the fence. But RDR showed something in this fight that he did not show in the first fight. The first fight, it was just all takedowns from RDR. That's all he was trying to do. Take him down, take him down, take him down. You're not doing it. You're not taking Malykhin down. It's not going to happen. No. And instead in this fight, this whole time leading up to this, he's been Dutch kickboxing. And it showed, dude, because he had such a nice step-up knee up against the fence. He just bring his knee up to the chin of Malykhin. Fantastic for someone who's pressuring you. He do a shifting right hand to a low kick off the same side. Money, drops him with it, and you're like, ooh, is the weight cut too much for Malykhin? Look at him. Look at this picture.
Yeah.
And the way people are talking about this fight is that, oh, he didn't beat anybody of substance, and it's crazy because RDR is so good, and it's not like he just ran through him. Maybe the finish makes people think he just beat a bum because of like how it ended, but he drops him, and the knees were money. He beat a good guy in this fight. He didn't just get a trophy. He earned this one.
That first one where he stunned Malykhin, was that like a modified Superman? Like the way that he kind of like
no, it was just
rushed
shifting.
forward and is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, he shifted through the right hand on the shift and then followed it with the low kick.
Yeah.
And even Chatri was like, yeah, I think his leg buckled from the low kick.
Dude, and
but
if Malykhin
was
landed
like, no.
that hook after he fell, right? Because he got him with that right
dangerous
leg kick, and then he goes for that hook as Malykhin was falling, and he just missed it. I was like, dude, if he landed that one, that would have been rough. To Austin's point, he said it a couple times already on the chat, and he's like, he's even better on the mic. This is what absolutely made me fall in love with this guy, dude.
Yeah.
He seems so happy, so ecstatic, so appreciative of the opportunity. I think he kept on saying, like, my dream is real. Yeah. My dream is real. Like, and I was like, dude, I was getting goosebumps, man.
Well, dude, I mean, look at this picture too. RDR showed out, huh? But then Malykhin starts going to the body. That was the big change, was the body shots from Malykhin, I think, right? The body shots were money to the point where RDR is now shooting desperate, right? He's gassed. He's shooting desperate. And then Malykhin hits him with a knee on the ground that turns him over into guard, and that was it. That was it. He couldn't get back up. They had to call it because he couldn't get back up. All respect in the world. You see, like you mentioned, Malykhin, after the fight, he's like, RDR hit me harder than anybody has ever hit me before. He's stunned me multiple times. This guy's dangerous. He's number one. Like, very cool to see the respect between these two guys that you come to know and love with one. But to Blunderbub's credit too, do you see the clip of him comforting Jeremy Miato in the back? Miato got subbed by Pocket Monk early in the fight, and Malykhin's back there backstage comforting him while Miato's like in tears. And you're like, this is a champion. And one thing that I've never seen anybody talk about online is, so I was there, right, in Manila for the first fight. That was in the morning because that was a prime card. It was one fight night. Doesn't have the number, but I have the fucking thing right here. Sits right here all the time, right? Dude. Circle side. Shout out Juan. Shout out everybody there, huh? Ty Morshed. Shout out Mahoko. But that's early in the morning. It started like 9 a.m. In the Philippines because it starts at 5 p.m. here in California. So early in the morning. Then later on, they have 161, I think, which was actually Pacio versus Brooks, their first fight, which was also the rematch was on this card. But that was later on in the night. That was for the East Asian time zone. Dude, the whole time of the second event. So Malykhin knocks out RDR to become a double champ. He was the heavyweight champ. He gets the light heavyweight belt in the morning. And then that night during the other event, Malykhin walks out. He's still there. He had a couple of his fighters fighting on that card too, with the second one. And he's just walking around with his belts in the crowd, taking pictures with people, hanging out with people, just walking around, man. Like, it's like the guy is so cool. I actually got to be in the locker room with him before the first RDR fight. He's the coolest guy in the world.
Dude, you should have totally pulled a Steven Seagal and just gone over there and started giving him tips. Okay, have somebody record it, dude, and then afterwards
when RDR shoots, you gotta. Oh my god! But that just speaks to who he is as a person, right? Is he's walking around the arena later on that night after he just got his second belt, and he's not big timing people. He's walking around the stands, not sitting in one spot watching the fights. He's just walking around. Austin says, you guys remember when Mitch got pinned between Malykhin and Aliakbari? I think it was hilarious. In the pre-fight press conference, he tells RDR, "You're my chocolate cake. I'm gonna eat you." Fantastic. It's fantastic, dude. But And despite all the personality, he's got both. He's a star. He's 100% a star. People say like, oh, he's fighting in one. It's not the level of competition or whatever. He's easily top 5 at light heavyweight in the UFC, without a doubt, in my opinion. Blunderbub. Guys always stalking around Lumpini on Fridays too. Yeah, he's great. He's a man of the people. HLB Comer says Miro is my chocolate cake. Yeah. And there was a cake. There was a cake. Then he posted a cake. There was one. But look, we talked about the fight itself, I guess. Already, Malykhin, I don't know what he does next. But another thing that you see, which is really cool.
But what does one do next, though? Because think about it. You have somebody that's holding on to 3 belts: heavyweight, light heavyweight, middleweight. How do you manage this now?
Like, I think you go back up. Maybe he relinquishes middleweight. I'm not sure. I think maybe you relinquish it. He did it. Some people are like, he should go to 185. No, he can't. You cannot go to 185. That's too much. I think you go back up to heavyweight and you try to build the heavyweight division off of him.
He looked like Anthony Rumble Johnson when he'd fight at 170. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Skin and bones, man. He looks so unhealthy.
Rest in peace, huh? But look at this man of the people, huh? And you shout out his wife, Anita, saying 3 belts. You got 3?
Oh, such a cool picture, dude.
But you know what's even cooler? Picture?
What is it? Yeah, that's a good one.
One of the best. It's amazing. Look at these 20. That's 80. It's over 80 pounds that he's carrying. It's insane.
Do it. I'd go grocery shopping like that.
Yeah,
I would do everything like that. I wouldn't care.
I mean, just incredible, dude. Really incredible. The only thing that I wish would have happened is maybe it's because they're in Qatar. Where's the confetti?
Yeah, I thought about the exact same thing. I was waiting for
3 belts. Give me the confetti. Austin brings it up. His story about him and his wife moving to Thailand, giving up, urging his dream makes the pick a lot harder, especially the one with his wife. They talk about he came from nothing in Siberia. A lot of days he didn't even get to eat food. He ends up moving. He meets Anita, and they fall in love. All this stuff. He didn't have anything. She did. They still give up everything, sold everything they owned because she supported them. They moved to Thailand to pursue this. It's just a beautiful story. It's just, and he seems like such a good guy. It's like,
doesn't he?
It's fantastic.
I know.
Chatri's talking about him and his wife on a first name basis, their son on a first name basis. He just seems like such a good dude that he's just infectious, Asia Becomer says, is that Courtney Cox? But
number 1 boss in the world.
Yeah, the pros fight press conference, Chatri's hugging him. They just have such respect. Yeah, it's just so good, dude. And they also, another thing that stood out to me is in the post fight press conference. Shout out Nick Atkin, by the way, for going out to Qatar and doing some great coverage and asking the right questions at the post fight press conferences that allow us to talk about these little details and stuff. But they asked. I think it was him that asked, like, what's next? Like, what do you guys want to do? Like, what do you want to do with Malykhin? Go up to heavyweight, light heavyweight? What's the move? And he was like, well, he's probably going to go on vacation and probably eat all those 30 pounds back or whatever it was. And then he's like, and then I'll meet with Anatoly and Anita and we'll figure out what's next. And it's like, damn, you're going to meet with the both of them. Like,
that's badass.
It's just sick, dude. It's just a cool thing,
Yeah.
Very cool. I don't know what else to say. 3 belts.
There's nothing else to say. We'll leave it at that. My new favorite fighter, Anatoly Malykhin, dude.
Damn. I remember when I tried to get you to watch him the first time, you were like, all right. I guess he's pretty good.
Who is this clown?
You're like, I don't see anything special really. And I was like, what? Just wait. Just keep watching. Genevieve says, isn't his wife his manager? I believe so.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice,
but yeah,
all
fantastic. Right. Fun stuff.
What's the next fight we're going to cover on 1?
Co-main event, we got Tang Kai versus Thanh Li, 2 to unify the belt. Tang Kai took the belt. He had to pull out, so they do Thanh Li for the interim. He gets the interim. They do the rematch. And we got a little bit of a... And then Olivier was like, no, We're not doing that. We're giving you both yellow cards.
Yeah, that was.
Which I think.
Look, go ahead.
This was a bit much, in my opinion. I don't necessarily agree with the yellow cards in this one. It's a title fight. It's 5 rounds. Dangerous strikers. Obviously, dangerous strikers. It could end in a split second. Obviously, especially with hindsight, huh? But a little bit more cautious, I think, with the yellow cards in this one. It was slow, but
my notes. The very last thing I put down, Tong Lee showing why he was worried to engage at the end of the fight. Right, you have to be cautious in your approach, and I 100% agree with you because I mean, on the last fights that we were just watching, I was saying, bust out the yellow card now.
Yeah,
bust out the yellow card now, and in this case over here with these two guys, like they were still engaging. It just wasn't like maybe as much as Olivier Costa would have liked. It was a really good chess match. Both of them are extremely dangerous. We have one of them that's the champion. The other one's the interim champion. They're gonna fight, dude. They want this title. It's,
and a lot on the line. First fight was a banger. First fight was a banger between these two. Even Chachi said, he's like, yeah, it was slower than I thought it was going to be, especially since the first fight was a banger. But a lot of times that happens, right? You get a banger and then you do a rematch, and it's like a little bit more gun shy because they felt the power of each other. And in a split second, Tang Kai hits him with his right hand and drops him. And like that was it.
Do you think the crowd played into this one a little bit?
Yes, but up until that point, I think the crowd had been a little bit over it. I think they were a little antsy leading into that. But
they just wanted to see Malykhin.
Yeah, basically, they're like, get him out here, please.
Yes,
see these belts. But yeah, fantastic win by Tang Kai. I think Tang Kai, he's so good, dude. He's the first ever Chinese male champion in a major organization. I feel like one should really be getting behind him and promoting the shit out of him because he's very, very good. Yeah. Really good. What about I think I have last one. Gotta love it. The respect.
And at the end of the event too, where they're like moments of respect or whatever. What do they call it?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. Something like that.
And it's like Anatoly, hugging RDR, and then these two guys hugging, and they just show all the times that everybody's all respectful to each other. I'm like, man, that's pretty cool.
It is cool, it's nice to see.
All right, are we moving on to the next one?
Yeah, do you want to watch the knockout real quick? Might as well, huh?
Which one?
The Tang Kai one.
Sure.
Let's just watch it. It's
Why
quick.
Not? All right.
It's quick. Don't blink. Bam.
Oh. Lunging right hook?
Yeah, it was nice, dude. Gave him every chance to get to it, right? Look at this right hand. Bam.
Yeah. It was nicely placed, man. Looked like he was
right on the jawline,
off as he was circling there, yeah. Olivier.
Good stuff, huh?
Let go of the fence, Olivier.
Yeah.
All right. What's the next one we're going to cover, sir?
Next one we're going to cover is the spicy one of the event. It is, get ready, Blunderbub. It is Joshua Pacio versus Jared Brooks.
Always love seeing Jared Brooks walk out, by the way. God, dude.
I know some people aren't a fan of it, but
I love it.
I can tell you that every time he does it, I was there for it in Manila. Everybody in the crowd does love it because it's fucking awesome. Comes out with a sick ass like battle wounded monkey mask. He's throwing bananas into the crowd. Look at this guy.
I don't think he threw. I don't think he threw bananas this time.
His coaches did.
His coach. Okay, well.
Yeah. You know what he did throw?
Yeah. Pacio.
Yeah.
Joshua Pacio is what he actually threw. So sick back take, by the way.
Yeah. Going into this, Jared Brooks, fantastic. I think he has a split decision loss to Pantoja. In the UFC, he gets cut from the UFC, goes to ONE, becomes their champ. His grappling is no joke. His grappling's so good. Immediately in on the entry for the back take. Pacio does a good job defending that. Unfortunately, in defending that, he kind of goes for like a little bit of a Kimura lock, a little bit. DC goes, can't lift here. Jared Brooks says, yes, you can. lifts him up, gets his hips behind him, like the wrestler he is. Look, you see Pacio has 2-on-1 on that left arm of Brooks, but Brooks elevates him, throws him directly onto his head. It was scary because he's out. He drops him right on his head. Shut up. Full yang there, landslide. But look, he drops him. He finishes him. He celebrates
like
his
he was
wins.
out because he actually was.
He did defend. That was nice to see.
Right.
That was like that was good to see because you're like, oh, he drops right on the head. The slow mo is bad. The slow mo is harder. We will show it. Don't worry. But it is bad. Ganskow says, I had no volume and didn't watch the post fight. Found out hours later. And you might be asking, what did you find out? What do you mean? You watched him get slammed on his head and you saw him celebrate. You found out that he was disqualified. He was disqualified. And
he said, "Oh no,
like, oh no, my belt."
Yeah.
And also felt bad probably. And it was an accident. Look, in one, you cannot slam to the head. People are saying you can't spike. There's no slams to the head. This was not spiking. There was arch. There was an arch to the throw, an arc to the throw.
Shocking
Right?
turn of events, as they
shocking turn. Yeah. Pacio was in a neck brace after that. Chaudhry said it was just after all testing, everything was good. Just a neck strain, so that's good, right? Because it was bad.
Was Chaudhry pissed?
Yeah, he was super upset because he did break the rules. It's a foul. You can't slam people on the head. It's not good. Can't do that. But he did show remorse, Jared Brooks. It wasn't like I don't think he knew that that you can't slam on the head because look, if this was in the UFC, the same exact move, he would have knockout of the year. You know what I mean?
Rose
Namajunas, Jessica Andrade, right?
Yeah.
But in one, you cannot slam to the head most of the time. Sometimes you can't. But Jared Brooks posts on Instagram that night. He says, Pacio, wish nothing but the best for you, brother. I hope you're okay. I am sorry for letting down my family and the organization. I did not do anything, or I did not intentionally do anything.
Rough.
And new congratulations.
Wow.
And then they got breakfast together the next morning.
Oh, dang, dude.
Post with him, my brother. I am so happy to see you and give you a big hug. Glad to see you're happy and healthy. Congrats, champ. Had a good conversation and breakfast. He was with the whole team. Had breakfast with their whole team.
Classy
stand-up
move.
guy.
Classy move. I like that.
Very classy. But the reason I say that it's not all the time illegal, because sometimes, look, if there's a rule like that, you got to enforce it all the time.
Yeah.
Just sometimes.
Oh. Okay. And who is this? Oh, snap.
All good, dude. Don't you worry about it. You can slam on the head.
So if anybody's just listening and not watching, highly suggest hopping on YouTube so you can see the footage.
Yeah, and shout out Capoza posting
like straight on his head.
Yeah, this is one Friday Fights 52. This was Herb also. This was February 16th, so pretty recent. Maybe they said, hey, Herb, that was illegal. Next time that happens, don't allow it. And then he corrected it, right? Could be that could be the case. But
could be.
Yeah. In my opinion, a bad rule. If you can knee to the head on the ground, you should be able to slam people on the head. Spiking should be illegal. Spiking's bad, but that was not a spike. Obviously, Pacio's okay. Sometimes they might not be okay. But this is also mixed martial arts where we are seeing people get brutalized, and it's weird to draw the line in some places. Huh?
Yeah. Genevieve says Herb was super on his ref game. I'd agree.
Yeah, he actually was. He was really good.
He had a superb night.
Because look, as much as I disagree with this rule,
it is a rule.
Being the case, it is a rule, and he enforced it perfectly. It was perfect. That's how you do it. He did the damn thing, you know. You want to see it?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's watch it.
Let's watch
I mean, why not? I don't know if HLB Comer saw it or not, so let's put it on.
Yeah. Bam.
There it is.
Drops him right on his head. Finishes him off. Celebrates immediately because it was sick.
But they said right away, they're like, wait, he called time. He didn't call the fight. He called time.
Yeah, Herb is fucking good lately, huh?
Yeah. And I think I told you too. Herb in one is even better.
Yeah, 100%. You want to see the slow-mo? Really see how it lands?
Let's do it. Okay, there he goes off to the side, and he knows it, dude. He tries to put his arm down to take most of the impact and to hopefully redirect his body in some way, shape, or form. And that does not
the
look
neck
good.
bends bad, dude.
Okay, one more time.
Yeah, one more time.
Oh, that is not good, dude.
It's bad.
Yeah. You know what? I changed my mind. This should be illegal.
Yeah.
After watching that slow motion replay.
HB Comer says, yeah, Story of the Fight Commission declares this a win.
Oh, man. That was rough.
It was rough. But, we want to move on to some more good reffing?
Yeah, let's do it. Which one are we going over to?
We are going to probably your favorite fight. Amir Aliakbari.
I'm going to get mad covering this right now.
It's going to be quick.
Again, I'm newer to one, right? So when Arjan Bhullar, when I first saw him fight, Will told me about him, and he became a champion, first Indian champion, heavyweight champion. He beat our boy Brandon Vera, and then he's inactive for about a year. But in the meantime, dude's blowing up in India.
I think you're being pretty generous to how I built him up to you.
Being a star in India in the meantime, you did tell me, you're like, dude, this guy hasn't even fought, is what you told me.
I'm like, dude, Malykhin got the interim belt. There's no way this dude's coming back. It's just not going to happen.
So this is how I'm introduced to him. Hey, he won the belt. He beat an older Brandon Vera. He's inactive. And so I'm like, oh, dude, what's this guy all about, right? He comes out with that, big old thing. What is that?
I don't know, dude.
I don't know, but it's pretty sick. And so I'm like, okay, all right. I'll see him walking in. And then what I've seen from him so far is just non-impressive whatsoever, man. And yesterday, watching him fight.
Well, he comes out like that. And you're like, okay, he's a former champ. And he's coming. He's got the thing. He's fucking here for it. And then he sees Aliakbari throwing punches like this with this facial expression.
And he's like, oh, God.
And he's like, no, never mind. Never mind. And then the next thing that happens in the fight is this. Oh, just kidding. I'm not even on that monitor. It's this. Because Herb gives him 2 yellow cards for essentially just backing away the entire fight. And then he gives him the red card to disqualify him. It's the second time, only the second time a fighter's ever been red carded for inactivity and not fighting. Pretty embarrassing. But at the same time, look, people are going to say Aliakbari should have been doing more. It's so hard. It is so hard to fight somebody who is not fighting back. It's incredibly hard. It's you can cut off the cage.
Also, when Bhullar was going, he was getting countered. I was like, oh, dude.
Yeah, there's a reason why he was doing
sucks for you, dude. There's nothing he could do. He had no chance against Aliakbari. So
yeah. HB Comer is finally a fighter I can relate to. Yeah, I mean, I'd be doing the same thing, huh?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Chatri said after the post-fight press conference, he said he let the people of India down, and they will no longer see him as a hero or something like that.
Dang,
I was like,
that sucks. By the way, dude, I'm sorry if I look like I haven't been paying attention, but your boy here has had to do some heavy research, and I found out that what he carries in is a gada, which is an ancient Indian weapon. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you see that, and you're like, that's pretty sick. And now that I read up on him, I'm like, man, that's really sick. If only he carried the warrior spirit with it,
Yeah. Genevieve says, to be fair, Aliakbari wasn't really working hard to push the action either. I think he was. It's so hard to chase somebody down and try to land shots while if they're focused on evading the whole time, it's really hard, and it's really discouraging to continue trying to walk somebody down and cut the cage off and swing and miss. It's hard, Well,
also when I felt like Aliakbari's game plan was heavy around countering, which, like I said, whenever Bhullar would go, he would counter. But when you have your mindset on, I'm going to focus on countering, and the person in front of you is not really going, then that makes it a little bit tough. But Bhullar was the one that whenever he would get countered, he would have those huge step backs and skip back.
Yeah.
So in Herb Dean's eyes, it's like, well, whenever they do start engaging,
whoa, got the 2 thumbs up. Look at that.
He dips. Oh, did it come through?
Can't just be throwing the thumbs up there, dude.
Oh,
a celebration here for.
Hey, just peace, dude. Just peace.
What does peace do?
I mean?
The balloons.
The balloons. I don't even remember. Yeah.
I don't remember
by the way, everybody that's watching, we accidentally found out that in the new software upgrade,
The new Mac
that there's like,
OS.
yeah. So there's like different things that happen whenever I do
Give
different hand.
me a 2 thumbs down for Arjan's performance, huh?
Oh yeah. Here we go. This is probably how he feels today.
Let's rain on that parade.
Yeah, there we go. All right.
Yeah, but that was it, huh?
Heavy on countering, fastest way to turn Genevieve against you. That's so funny.
Yeah.
All right,
but
man.
That's it. We're gonna move on to one last fight. One last fight here. Vladimir Kuzmin versus Sayik. I've never seen Sayik fight. Maybe this was his one debut. Maybe you could check that for me. I haven't seen him fight before. I know they threw a lot of late notice fights on when they took off Stamp and the Nongo fights. Maybe this was one of them, but Kuzmin has been in there with some good guys. But I've never seen Sayik before.
I'll see if I can find it.
But this was a fun fight, huh? Fun Muay Thai in the cage.
This is the only thing that he has, by the way, in Tapology is just his fight yesterday.
Well, Tapology doesn't really track like Muay Thai, so a lot of these guys
I
don't have, but it was a fun fight. Early on, Kuzmin lands a big right hand. I think it was the second round that dropped Sayik. Sayik looking like a Middle Eastern Carlos Condit out there with weird angles and like weird lunges. He's got the beard, the hair. It looks just like him. It was cool to watch him work in there.
I could see it.
He was kind of a step behind, but I do like him. Kuzmin's good too. So good showing from Sayik. But you wanted to talk about some stuff in this fight, huh?
Well, I was just going to say that the winner of this fight was Olivier Coste. We talked about the reffing. So for me, the way that he handled the eye poke, right? Eye poke happens and he stops it. You know, he calls time just like any ref should, but then he looks at the fighter and he goes, "Hey, you good? You good? Let's go." Right? And he brings him back out. And sure enough, the fighter's like, "Yeah, I'm good to go." Where a lot of times you're like, "Hey, time. Hey, you got time. You got time. You got 5 minutes.
Bring somebody in."
Yeah. And he was, I think he saw, okay, it's not as severe. Like I saw it, but it wasn't that bad. Like, hey, you good? You good? Come on in. That, and then the knee, right? You see the knee. The illegal knee.
Let's see the knee, huh?
Yeah. So boom, there's the illegal knee right there. Hey,
he kicks the leg out as he's coming in, so he drops to a knee and then lands his own knee to the head while he's clearly down. And Olivier, look, you can see Olivier's running in before he even.
Yes, but this is what I love. Right away, right? It's no like, hey, that's a hard warning, or like, hey, it was accidental. We deemed it as accidental. It was just, here's his yellow card, and immediately point deduction.
Yeah, and watch him here. He's already running in like, no. He's like, he tried to stop it too. He started to stop it from happening. Gives him the yellow card. Takes a point away.
Yeah, so winner of the fight, Olivier Coste, the boss.
Yeah, very, very good. Let's watch the knockdown too from Kuzmin, huh? Because it was a good knockdown.
Let's do it. AJ McCovery should have been there for the Aljo fight.
Yeah. Look at this right hand. Bam.
Pyotr, not a fan of Olivier Coste.
Bam.
Beautiful right hand. Look at that.
Sets it up with the jab.
Yep.
Money, dude. Good shout out Juan for letting us show the clips too, by the way.
Yeah, shout out Juan. Man, I think that was all we're gonna cover though. Had some fun watching Souza grapple.
Oh yeah. Pocket Monk. Ooh, to open the card for that submission. Sick.
Really good too, man. Really good too.
I like that guy.
That's the one where Miyato ended up pretty devastated after the loss, where my boy Anatoly had to go and console him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Zihao versus Suzuki. Fun fight as well.
The opening fights were very good.
Yeah, I was very happy with opening fights. Yeah. So overall, I really enjoyed the event more than UFC Vegas Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
But Tang Kai gets a bonus for the knockout on Tan Lee. Malykhin gets a bonus for becoming the triple champ. First ever triple champ, huh?
Fantastic.
But fun stuff, Fun card.
Austin saying nasty bulldog choke. Yeah. That bulldog choke from Yamakita was insane. And the way that he used the fence as leverage.
Yeah, that was tight.
Nasty.
Reminded me of Toasty, huh?
Yeah, and then you hear the corner. Who was the ref in that one? Because you hear the corner going, his feet are on the fence. And the ref was like, no, he's pushing off of it. He responded to the corner and said he's pushing off of it. And I was like,
Who was
oh
it?
man, I don't know, but
was
on
Herb.
top of it, Herb.
Let's watch it, huh?
God, Herb Dean. Oh, there it is. Look at the way that he's
That's
amazing.
sick, dude.
Because he had the bulldog choke in for a minute, and
And he
then
flipped over with it.
they got into that position. Yeah, flipped over with it, and he sees a fence, creates that leverage where now he's just cranking up even more. What a finish, man! Fun fight.
I told you, Pocket Monk is one to watch. He's very good. Cool ass nickname too, huh? Pocket Monk.
Pocket Monk. Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, that's good.
I'll take that.
Well, hey, shout out to Austin, Ganskow, Genevieve. HOB Comer was on fire today. Keith, Blunderbub, Colleen. I'm missing anybody? I think that's it.
Ganskow, Austin, Keith, HB Comer, Blunderbub, Genevieve. Fun stuff, huh? Keith says his toes were in the fence. I'm gonna have to go back and look.
Keith, you watch that dirty mouth of yours, man. You don't talk
you
bad about my boy Herb Dean.
Oh man. But look, let's see. What do we got next week, huh? We got a lot next week.
Yeah, we have UFC 299. Which one event is going on next week too?
We got UFC 299. We
Look at the curly hair in the background.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
O'Malley versus Cheeto 2, Poirier versus Benoit Saint-Denis, Kevin Holland versus Michael Venom Page. What?
Oh, that's gonna be a fun fight.
Gilbert Burns versus Jack Della, Sonya Dawn versus Piotr Jan, Curtis Blades versus Jelton Almeida. Gamrot versus Dos Anjos. Munoz versus Phillips is very fun. Pedro Munoz versus Kyler Phillips is a fun fight.
That's a very fun fight. Yes,
Michelle Pereira's on there. We got the boy making his UFC debut. Different Pereira. Oh, Michelle Pereira. But we got Despaigne. I think that's how you say it. He's like 6'7". He's got the longest reach in the UFC, making his debut. Been watching him outside of the UFC. One to watch. He's against Josh Parisian. Not gonna be a great night, I don't think, for Parisian. But it's a fun card. And then
man. Don't sleep on that one though. On the Pereira versus Erceg. That's gonna be a fun fight.
That's a good one. HB Comer says, "Oil me up, let's go." It is fun, dude. We got what's after that next week? We got International Women's Day card from one. Janet Todd versus Petjija. Alicia Helen Rodriguez versus Morales. Dude, gonna be a banger. We got, if we pull up the card, it is a very, very good card. What do we got? Let me pull it up. I'm surprised they don't have stamp on it for the the women's card.
She's headlining one though soon, isn't she?
Soon, yeah. We got Jackie Boonton's on there again. We got my girl Martina Krasinski versus Katarina. That's a banger. That's Barbie versus Martina. Lara Pizza Fernandez, dude. Pizza Power. Let's go. It's a fun card. And then we got something else.
Joshua versus Ngannou.
Come on, dude.
So
Joshua
good.
versus Ngannou. If you haven't played the mobile game that they put on the website, where it's like 8-bit fighter game with Ngannou versus Joshua,
you can actually play it.
Yeah, I sent you the screenshot, and you're like, I'm not even gonna reply. But it is, but it's cool. I mean, it's super basic, but it's fun.
That's awesome.
Promote the damn thing. If you haven't watched the trailer, that they made where they're beating each other up and it's like video game style, it's fucking awesome.
Austin says, imagine if Ngannou gets the W with a KO. Don't even, because I'll go nuts. I will go nuts. And you know what? The entire MMA world, the boxing world will go nuts. It would be huge.
And don't count.
You know what? Boxing needs it, dude.
Boxing needs Francis to knock out Joshua. Boxing needs Francis to knock out Joshua, and then his next fight be in the PFL and say, y'all can wait. That would be sick.
The MMA world needs this.
Yeah. MMA world's been taking some lumps in the boxing realm for a while.
No pressure in Ngannou, but there's a lot riding on this right now.
Yeah, do it for us, huh?
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks again to everybody that joined us. It was an absolute blast. Hopefully we get to do more of these watch along parties or the fight companions, whatever you want to call them, because it's definitely a blast watching fights with y'all. And then, of course, next Sunday, we'll try to recap again as long as life allows it. And then, I was going to say, this podcast produced by Richard Pustos, but not today, huh? This podcast.
But normally, let's give him his flowers anyways, huh? Rich
let's do it.
Does a great job on this show.
He does. But like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We're trying to reach 11,000 subscribers. We're well on our way. Just less than a year ago, we were like, hey, we're trying to reach 2,000. And now we're close to 11,000. So thank you, everybody, for the support. And yeah, let your mamas, your papas, your aunties, your uncles, let everybody know. If they like MMA, join us. Shout out to Rich the Casual, our producer. And shout out to you, Will, holding it down, doing double duty, bro. Great job, man.
Thanks.
All right, everybody. Hey, you're like the Malykhin of podcasting.
Whoa.
You're champion multiple.
I'll take that.
All right, man. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for another week, I guess you could say, special episode, Saturday episode of Story of the Fight.